Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are NC.
Last night, the K was rocking as the Royals rallied from 5 runs down to tie Seattle. But a Brad Miller blast broke the locals' hearts as the M's took game 1. Today, lefty Jason Vargas will try and even the series as KC tries to climb back into first place. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Another terrific crowd is expected at the K today for Game 2 of this series between the Mariners and the Royals. Hi, everybody. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler with you. It was exciting at the K last night. The Royals rallied from a 5-0 deficit to tie it. They lost the game 7-5, but boy, did we see the importance of power.
We've been seeing it in this month of June, and hopefully it will continue the rest of the season. But it just seems like one big hit ignites the whole bunch. But over-the-wall hits are even more special. When you're down in games like they were last night, 5 runs, oh, what a welcome sight. Salvi woke him up, and then Moose hit a 2-run bomb just to follow, and then Salvi comes back again. It's ignited. The passion is there. This team is playing great baseball. Hey, they may not have won last night, but it's the body of work that they're performing out there that's bringing people to the K.
Very interesting pitching matchup with 6'10" Chris Young, a right-hander, facing 6-foot crafty left-hander Jason Vargas.
That's right. Chris, you ask those Royals offensive players, does he deserve a beatdown? Believe it. He went 8 strong innings against him. Here's a guy that only averages 85 miles an hour. Oh, the fans love Billy. Time for a Billy bomb today.
Keep that hit streak going, Billy. It's the Royals and the Mariners coming your way next.
Aoki had a groin injury on Tuesday and got a little bit of rest, came back into the game as a replacement, pinch hitting last night. And he said he tried to run 100%. He told me he didn't have 100%. He now has a light groin strain. Said it hasn't really gotten a lot worse, he told me, but it hasn't gotten a lot better. And so we will not see Nori Aoki out here in right field. Joel Goldberg back at the K. It's his first ever big league DL stint and only the second one in his career. It happened once in 2008 in Japan. So that opens the door for Justin Maxwell. He is back with the team, was batting over 300 with 5 homers in AAA Omaha and getting every day at bats.
Well, this first few at bats felt like the first game of spring training because it had been so long before I had been in there. But you know, getting to a regular routine, working with Tom and Greg every day, I think it really paid off.
Aoki will be in right field, or not in right field, but Maxwell will. Jason Vargas is on the hill, and the Royals will try to snap this short 2-game losing streak. It is Vargas and Young. First pitch coming up next.
Brought to you by Chevrolet. Come in and visit the Kansas City area Chevy dealers and make your move to Chevrolet today. By the Missouri Lottery, try the new Lucky Sevens playbook. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Welcome back to the K for Seattle and the Royals. The Royals Fan Express bus came from Wichita, where today is Wichita State Day. The proud Shockers in town to root on the Royals, and guess who was there to greet them?
What a great opportunity for me to get out there in front of the K about 12:30. Fans were packing in, and those fans on that bus, I worked them to a frenzy, Fizz. Told them about what a great experience they're going to have, and almost half of them had never even been to the K before. So a great opportunity for these folks from Wichita. Thank you for coming.
And there's Ron Baker, who is from the basketball team. They went undefeated in conference play, made it into the NCAA tournament, lost in the playoffs, but man, they played great. And here we have the Seattle Mariners starting lineup. James Jones, who is 6 for 12 against Kansas City this year, will lead things off.
Yes, and you know, he's kind of a throwback player, fresh ball player. Not just by the way he wears his socks, but he's hungry to learn. He's brand new, he's a rookie, and he can play center field.
The Kia starting pitcher is Jason Vargas. He was with the Mariners from 2009 through 2012. His last 5 starts, Rex, have gone awfully well. 3-0, 2.31 ERA.
That's right, and the fact that he's only given up 1 home run in his last 5 starts as well as too, because right-handers have hit 248 off of him, which is a good low average, but they've hit 10 homers off him. Lefties 264 with just 1 homer. Keep the ball in the yard and go to work with that excellent repertoire of pitches he has. Cut fastball, slider, curve, and a great changeup that he'll throw at any time to lefties and righties. The defense behind him is spectacular as always. Dyson playing center field. He's been really good. He's hitting on top of the ball offensively, but defensively he can go get him. Maxwell in right, getting a start. Watch out for big things from Maxwell.
Yeah, he was talking about finally getting that consistency down in the minor leagues, and now he hopes to bring it back to the big leagues. Vargas, very strong in his last start, beat Detroit 11-8, allowed 2 runs in 7 innings. Our umpires, Scott Berry behind home plate, Jeff Nelson is the crew chief, Diaz at second base, Patillo at third. The Royals at 39-34, a half game back of Detroit for first place in the American League Central. The Mariners come in at 38-36, 8 games back of Oakland for first place in the American League West. And Jones has been a major thorn in the Royals side this year. I told you 6 for 12, 3 for 4 in last night's game.
Yep.
Strike one.
He's a lot similar hitter to Dyson. Gerard, he's got great speed, so he tries to stay on top of the ball. He'll bunt and just try to get on base. That's what he does. Kind of a slap hitter.
Vargas likes to come inside with that fastball. He does here at 88 miles an hour for an 0-2 count.
It's a great point, Fizz. Vargas has got to be able to command the inside part of the plate, especially off the plate, in order to open up the outside part for the changeups.
Escobar has it. Low throw, and Hosmer can't come up with it. So that will be Escobar's 6th error this year.
Escobar, this is a little bit short with his throw. He threw a little bit sidearm there. Hosmer almost could come up with a dig. That's a very tough play for Hosmer, and it was the arm angle that Escobar is not used to throwing from.
Royals want to be able to keep these Mariners quiet early. Seattle scored in the first inning when Chavez doubled last night, was sacrificed to third and scored on Cano's single.
When you don't get on top of the baseball on the left side of the diamond and throw it, it'll sink when you throw sidearm.
Now he is talking double play with his partner Pedro Siriaco as Infante given the afternoon off. It was a hot one last night, low 90s, high humidity.
Escobar coming in still has the best fielding percentage among major league shortstops since last year's All-Star break. No worries there. Vargas has only allowed 1 run in the first inning this season.
The Royals expecting Jones to go. He's 12 for 13 stealing bases and has only been with the ball club a little less than 2 months.
He's another speed guy. He can run. Overall, Seattle has hit 243 off of left-handed starters this year with an 18-11 record. This is a good baseball team. They're missing a few of their key players, but Lloyd McClendon, he has them playing at a high level. He's a no-nonsense manager. Expects nothing but 100% effort out of his players.
Popped him up. Right side for Hosmer. 1 out.
Sun can be a problem for guys on the left side of the field. For the guys on the right side, it's not quite as difficult because the sun's not glaring into them. But it's an interesting sky with it hazy like this with some high clouds. Sometimes that ball can be hard to pick out. Players will come back to the dugout and say, it's a high sky today. Now, does that make any sense? The sky is pretty high, but for ball players, they know what that means. The ball can get lost in it.
So what you're saying is there's days that the sky's less high?
Yeah, it must be a little lower some days. Like at nighttime.
Yeah. Well, Robinson Cano will be the batter, and he has very good numbers against the Royals lefty Vargas, 10 for 23 in his career. And check what he's done in day games, practically hitting 400, and he rips this one to right, but there's Maxwell. He'll milk the catch, and they'll bring the throw to first base.
He balked.
Are you kidding me? I did not see that. And so another at bat for Robinson Cano as Vargas balked when he threw home. That could have easily been a double play.
Oh, man. Giving away outs is not something that the Royals are used to doing. You can see the first base umpire pointing right away, Jeff Nelson.
So the Royals with 2 mistakes early, an error on Escobar, now the balk on Vargas instead of the inning being over. It continues for the dangerous Cano, who has 42 RBIs, second most on the team. And he is a guy who is his last 5 years has averaged 108 RBIs. That's with the New York Yankees. Some marvelous years with New York, and then signed a 10-year $250 million contract with the M's in the offseason. This is a big game for Kansas City. They lost the last game of that series in Detroit 2-1 and had that marvelous comeback last night, only to fall 7-5 in game 1 of this series. Barely outside, 2-2.
It's a great spot. Vargas has got to stay out of the middle of the plate. He knows that. Lefties have only hit 1 homer off of him this year.
The Royals are playing him to pull the ball on the ground, but in that first inning last night, he just took an outside pitch and slapped it to left field to score the first run. Foul off Salvi.
Vargas is a veteran who's really good at making adjustments as he pitches. He can tell by the way the guy's swinging on him what to throw, and so can Salvi. So a pitcher that can make in-game adjustments is really good.
Ground ball, second base. Siriaco has it. Cano is out, moving to third. Jones. Now the Royals left-hander will face Logan Morrison, who had 2 hits last night, including a home run. But Rex, even though he's only batting 185 for the season, boy, he put together some really quality at-bats. And this is a guy who gets a little fired up when he comes home to face the Royals, because he grew up in the suburbs of Kansas City, and as you told me, was one of the first graduates of that great hitting school, Mack and Seitz.
That's right. First graduate to become a big leaguer. What a night. You know, and he'd been struggling. He'd been struggling coming in. Okay, that one pitch over the middle, he got every bit of that. He's a big guy at 6'3", 240. Man, you make a mistake on him, he'll drive it a long ways. Now, this was the play of the plays. He overran that, he told me today before the game. He said, I had to make a quick adjustment because I knew how important the out was. And he said when he finally found it in his glove and held on, he liked that better than the homer.
Dyson, with that great speed, runs it down in right center. The Mariners threaten, but Vargas shuts them down.
And it all the way.
Let's check out our Midwest Ford dealers starting lineup. Dyson again back in there because of the injury to Aoki. He's on the DL. Hosmer, Butler, Gordon all move up.
Yep, and Siriaco getting a chance to spell Infante, giving him a day. He's a good fielder.
How about Chris Young? He goes 6'10", 255, turned 35 on May 25th, and one of those veterans who really knows how to pitch.
Yes, he does. And at his height, he's a very difficult guy to try to square up. He's got a good downhill angle at 85 to 88. He's not overpowering at all. However, he can be deceptive. Now, defending behind him is John Buck, a nice catch and throw guy. He's got some pop too. You want to try to stay away from his bat. But this is an infield here that they're hoping can support him. Chris Young, it's important that the outfielders are on their game because he'll use every square inch of this ballpark here at the K. One of the reasons he's been so successful. He pitches up in the zone. He throws just like that. He's looking for a lot of pop-ups. So for Dyson, he's going to have to lay off of those. He wants to stay on top of it. He might even have to crouch down a little bit, work a little Rod Carew batting stance. The lower you get, that ball looks higher, you leave it alone. But you can catch him. That wind blowing out to left field today, right-handers could present a problem. They've hit 6 homers off him.
Dyson shows bunt, pulls the bat back in time. The count is 2-1. And Rex, at 6'10", he has a longer stride, longer arm, so he's releasing the baseball closer to home plate. Does that make his fastball look a little quicker?
Oh, no question. Whenever guys with that length, it gets way out there, the ball's actually closer. It's on you in a heartbeat.
Young can lose his release point a little bit. He has walked 33 batters in 79 in the third innings this year. Gets a strike across. It's a 3-2 count to Dyson, who is taking.
He's not overpowering. He will try to sink his fastball. He's got an occasional change, and he's got a big curveball that he'll use. But he's mainly a fly ball pitcher.
Dyson to a center field. It stays up for Jones, and there's one out.
Fans, just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite.
Eric Hosmer doing a lot of work yesterday before the game with Dale Swaim, the hitting coach, and manager Ned Yost. And now Hosmer was able to come through with 2 hits. He had one of them in the 9th inning that was part of a Kansas City rally when they were trailing 7-5. But Aoki grounded out. Gordon struck out. Game over. Royals lost 7-5.
%70 fastballs. You just got to know which one's going to be your one when it's up.
Hosmer to center field, but right at Jones, and he'll make the catch, and very quickly 2 outs in this first inning. Your Kansas City Honda dealers bring you the MTP of the game, the most trusted player, brought to you by the most trusted brand, Honda.
Yep, it's the right time for Billy. Ned Yost is extremely happy to see his designated hitter starting to get hot. This big hit here to clear the bases in Detroit was a beautiful thing, and he's starting to utilize the opposite field. When Billy gets going to the opposite field, the homers will come. It is a matter of time. He only has 2 this year.
Young, though, has allowed 11, 6 of them to right-handed batters. During this 10-game hit streak, batting a sizzling .474. He has a home run and has knocked in 11. 1 ball, 1 strike. James Jones will tie a major league record set by thousands. He makes all 3 outs in 1 inning.
Fly balls are coming today. Hopefully some go over the wall.
take advantage of $10 high-V infield tickets to watch Danny Duffy and your charging Royals take on the reigning National League Cy Young winner Clayton Kershaw, coming off a no-hitter, and the Dodgers in their second appearance ever at the K this coming Tuesday, June 24th. You'll save over 50% off the everyday ticket price, and it's also T-Shirt Tuesday. So get there early to grab your free Royals gear. The sale will end at 6 o'clock tonight. So go to Royals.com right now or call 1-800-6-ROYALS now to get this one-time only deal.
Oh, man, I'm going to tell you what. Don't want to miss the Dodgers coming to town. I don't know when they'll come back again.
Greinke Guthrie on Monday, Kershaw Duffy Tuesday, Heron Shields on Wednesday. 3 terrific games, all of them evening games. John Buck leads things off. Lifts one high in the air. Long run for Maxwell. It's beyond his reach, and there'll be an 0-2 count on John Buck. Came in hitting .246. Started his career with Houston, then traded to the Royals in that Carlos Beltran deal years ago. Now a veteran, 33 years of age, out of Utah. Went to Taylorsville High School, led them to a state championship. In there, strike 3 call.
Vargas can be sneaky. He hides the ball well. He's got a nice hip turn, and that ball can be on you very quickly. Some hitters will go up there looking for that changeup, and when you do that, it makes that fastball even harder to hit.
I like Scott Berry's strike call. He gets after it.
So far, he looks like he's given both guys a little bit on the edges.
He got the little work over last night from the guys from Big Slick. Rob Riggle, Paul Rudd were really chewing at Scott Berry when he was umpiring at first base, and Scott, of course, was smiling and having fun with it.
Yeah, he's a good sport. Umpires, they're used to getting ragged, no doubt about it. Scott Berry's in his 5th year as an umpire, fairly young for a guy. Most of these umpires, they've got 10, 15, 20 years of service. It's tough to get up here if you're a minor league umpire.
Kyle Seager having a little discussion perhaps about that strike zone with umpire Berry right now, as Vargas with the 0-2 pitch misses away at 89 miles an hour.
Seager tried to get that little bunt hit over there, just missed it. It's not a bad idea. Get on base.
A little bit low as Jason facing his old team for the 5th time in his career. He's 3-1 with a 1.59 ERA. That's the best among any opposing pitcher against the Mariners, and his lowest ERA. Ground ball. Moustakas must handle it. Goes quickly, and Seager is out. Our Sprint family question of the day: which starting pitcher posted the lowest ERA in his first season with the Royals after signing as a free agent? Was it Tim Belcher, David Cone, Mike Boddicker, or Gil Mesh? Text A, B, C, or D to 432-432. Good question.
Wow, that's a good one.
Stephan Romero, the batter, only 1 hit in his last 20 at bats, and Vargas tries him inside, ball 1. Because of that 120, his batting average has dipped below 200.
No Andy Chavez today out there in right. Lloyd giving him a day off. Quick turnaround after last night's night game.
And you take a look at the Royals starting pitchers, all 5 starters with an ERA under 4. The last time that happened was 1974. Ground ball almost caught by Vargas. It will roll into center field. It's a base hit. But in '74, that rotation was Paul Splittorff, Al Fitzmaurice, Marty Patton, Bruce Del Canton, and Steve Busby.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and rarely does that happen. There's only one other team in baseball that can say that, and that's the Dodgers. Are coming to town next week. Almost caught that ball. We've seen pitchers make those behind the back snags. Ball got by him. Vargas looked at his glove as though the glove betrayed him.
And now a guy, Jesus Montero, who, if he faced Kansas City pitching all the time, he'd never play a minute in the minor leagues. But he's not had much success against any club outside Kansas City. He is 14 for 27 in his career against the Royals. Now, he was called up just a week ago on June 12th, hitting .273 with a home run.
And that was against the lefty. They're letting him hit lefties only as a DH. He can hit the ball a long way.
He was the Yankees' top prospect and then traded to Seattle in that Michael Pineda deal back in 2012. A lot of Yankee fans were saying, are you crazy? This is our future catcher. Jorge Posada is retiring. We need Montero.
Only one problem. This young man here, Montero, can't catch, can't move, doesn't have those kind of skills. He can hit. He tried him a little bit at first base this spring. It didn't work out.
Yeah, he really ballooned up in the offseason as well, and they wanted him to get in shape, lose weight.
I'll say you can't report to camp out of shape. Lloyd McClendon, most managers, they don't play that. He said, young man, we don't have any plans for you in the future. You go down and get yourself right.
Hosmer will take care of Montero as the runner is going, and that will do it for Seattle in the second. We'll see Alex Gordon, Salvador Perez, and Justin Maxwell's return when we come back. To the K this weekend for the Mariners series. Look for the Kia display at gates B and D and register for your chance to win Diamond Club box tickets and the grand prize of throwing out the first pitch on September 21st.
That can be a nerve-wracking experience for people who have never thrown out a first pitch, but it's a fun one. Throw a few before you get out there and then give it all you got.
I would get some practice throws in. We've seen some just awful throws this year around Major League Baseball, aiming at home plate, pitches thrown onto the screen, onto the on-deck circle, at people in the dugout. Here is Alex Gordon back in the lineup last night, and Alex had a couple of base hits. He missed the final game of the Detroit series with flu-like symptoms. They rehydrated him, IV fluids. 1-1 count.
There's that occasional changeup that he'll mix in. Last outing versus the Royals on May 10th. 15 of 24 outs were made. in the air. Fly balls.
And all 3 outs in the first inning to the center fielder James Jones.
So my prediction today is that we see another multi-home run game from the Royals.
3-1 to Gordon. Gordon with 8 home runs. Perez with 8. Next 4 guys with good power. And that ball belted to right. Back goes the right fielder at the wall and makes the catch. Stephan Romero takes a base hit away from Alex Gordon.
That's Chris Young. I told you before the game that he's going to use every inch of this outfield at the K here. Outfielders will be making these plays all day for him. Somebody's got to barrel one up and get it over. Living on a fine line, but he's been successful. In fact, the opponent's average is just 220 against this big guy.
Salvador Perez barreled one up last night, starting the Royals rally in that 3-run 5th inning with a home run to left. Back our way, Hud, right at you. Yes. And there's Rex Hudler making another Royals fan happy.
So nice to be in the game.
Let's check out these skills.
You kidding me, Fizz? You can't miss a play like that. That's right.
And then you obviously very humble about your catch.
My mom told me after the first touchdown I ever scored, if I ever raised my hands again, she'd never come to another ball game. You be humble. That's right. That little man right there, he is hungry for a ball. He just got him a big league souvenir.
Well, as many of our fans found out, you followed your mom's instructions well.
Yeah, so I've gotten away from it.
Salvador Perez down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. I thought I saw Chris Young, the starting pitcher, look up at the broadcast booth when you made the catch and shake his head.
He was shocked.
It's another one back your way. Oh, no, you need longer arms. And I quite frankly get out of your way, because if I don't, you'll shove me out of the way and make that catch.
Fizz, I saved your face one game in Baltimore.
You've saved me many times.
Oh,
good off-speed pitch thrown by Young, and had Salvador reaching for it. That's his first strikeout. 2 gone. And it's great to see Justin Maxwell back in a Kansas City Royals uniform. He was down with the Omaha Storm Chasers. Hit .316 with 5 home runs and 18 RBIs. And if you heard Joel Goldberg in the pregame show, he interviewed Justin Maxwell, who said his first few games down in Omaha he felt were like spring training, where he's trying to get his timing, his rhythm back.
yeah, it's very difficult when you're a part-time player to get any kind of rhythm going. When you're not seeing regular action, that's really a specialty. When you got a guy that can perform once or twice a week. Maxwell's the kind of guy that's going to thrive on a high fastball. I think Young knows that. He better be careful. Maxwell's got plenty of pop. He's hungry to show these Royals fans what he showed them last year.
There's that breaking ball that's been so good for him, and he has Justin down, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He's going to have to lay off of that pitch, though, or they'll keep throwing him there.
Maxwell was with the Astros last year, hit a couple of home runs, then traded to Kansas City and hit 5. And he swings and pops this one up on the infield. Robinson Cano trots in on the edge of the infield grass, makes the catch, and the Royals 6 up, 6 down for 6 Young. Chris Young.
State Day, in the first pitch being thrown out by Ron Baker to Keel Cotton, Fred Van Fleet, and well, maybe some did better than others, but you know what? It is great to have the Shockers, member of that 35-1 team, here. 3 of the 5 starters. Joel Goldberg back. Ron Baker is here. Fred Van Fleet to Keel Cotton. And let's start with the local guy, even though it's the other side of the state. Still Royals country. You're wearing your Alex Gordon jersey, and from Scott City, Kansas. How many Royals fans over that way?
Oh, there's quite a few, actually. Ever since I've been, real young, it's always Royals, Royals, Royals out there. So I know there's a lot of guys out there watching right now.
All right, Fred, want to ask you here a little bit about that great season, and we're going to have a little bit of a bobble, and so Brad Miller will reach base. You guys get a chance, and they call that one a base hit. No error on the play. A chance to get away a little bit. I know that basketball schedule, even in the offseason, can keep you guys busy. How nice to be out here watching a ball game.
It's good, man. It's relaxing. Obviously, it's a little steamy out here, but it's just good to be out here enjoying the game. It's a beautiful opportunity for us, and we're just thankful to be here and trying to enjoy the day.
Now, you did all right out there on the mound. Any baseball pass for you, or is it all basketball?
Nah, I played up until they stopped doing coach pitch. When they started letting the little kids throw it, I started getting hit and I quit. So, I got a little bit. I wouldn't call myself a baseball player.
An athlete, how about that? That'll be the case for all 3 of you guys. Tequil, how about for you? Any baseball in your background growing up in Georgia?
Till I was about 6 or 7, then I had to stop once I seen somebody get hit in the face with a ball.
That was it. So that was like...
That's when my career ended.
I think you guys all made the right career choice on this one, going the basketball route. Ron, what about for you? Last year was such a magical year. I know it didn't end the way you guys wanted it to, but what was it like to be a part of a team that was undefeated all season?
Oh, there was a lot of good things that happened last year. Very exciting. Our fans are so great. They were able to travel a lot with us. We made the most of it. It was a lot of up and down, surprisingly, when you go undefeated for that long in a season. We accomplished a lot, and we most importantly had a lot of fun.
And for you, I know a lot of attention back at home, too. Being the local guy, playing at a school that got a lot of attention. Can you walk anywhere around that town?
No, it's pretty hard to, leave the house and go to the grocery store. Such a small town, but my community loves me, and that's the most important thing.
Is it when you get there, guys? Around Ron, and then we're going to have a ball out to Alex Gordon. They're not going to go any further on the Gold Glover, but when you're around here, is it sometimes like being around a superstar when you get to some of those small areas?
You talking about Ron?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. He's a superstar, man, rock star, whatever you want to call it. He definitely has the fame and the popularity, so it's always nice to tag along with him and kind of play in the shadows while he get all the publicity.
But really, you guys all did get the publicity in Tequila. I want to know what it was like just playing for such a special team and the things that you guys have done over the last couple of years to put Wichita State on the map as a legitimate powerhouse really in this country. And what was it like to start getting that national recognition?
It was lovely to be able to get the recognition that we're starting to get now, because, you understand, we've been here for a while. We've been here. We put in a lot of work of it. Like, we're not done yet, but just to see a little bit of it is like, it's just a good feeling. And to be able to come out here to Kansas City and just attend this baseball game and throw pitches, it ain't much you can ask for.
Yeah, the only bad news for you basketball players out here is you don't have to deal with these kind of weather conditions, right? Now, you guys have a great baseball program at Wichita State. A lot of guys have moved on and played in the big leagues, and so maybe those guys, the Shocker baseball team, Fred, they know what it's like, but could you imagine being out here right now playing basketball in this 90-degree heat?
No, that's why they got it indoors, man. It's 2 different sports, but I definitely got a newfound respect for those guys, playing in the conditions they have to play in, and just being out here in this atmosphere, it's a lot better than I expected it to be, and it's a really beautiful arena and a great stage, so I'm sure those guys feel the same way, and, I respect what they do.
Well, guys, congratulations on all the success and continued success over there at Wichita State. Great to have you out here, all the Shocker fans on Wichita State Day.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, that is Tequil Cotton, Fred Van Fleet. and the local kid, at least from the other side of the state, Scott City, Ron Baker. Thanks, Ron.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, let's go back upstairs to you.
Thank you very much, Joel. Congratulations to Wichita State and their fantastic basketball season. Now the Royals have a situation with the Mariners, 2 on, both with speed, and Cole Gillespie trying to get a bunt down. Now looks like he'll be swinging away with 2 strikes. And then he cracks one into left center field. Everything going the M's way. They'll take the early 1-0 lead.
You better believe it. Royals got their hands full the rest of the way this season. They are a marked team because they're so good and everybody knows it, so they got to be on top of their game. Seattle just might start getting hot.
Well, not only that, but for such a long stretch, the Royals were getting all of the breaks, and now Seattle in the first 2 games of this series getting a lot of breaks. And the Royals, when they strike the ball well, it has been right at people. And that's the way the game goes. But Gillespie twice asked to get a bunt down. Bunts foul left side, bunts foul right side. And then with 2 strikes on him, lines one up the middle. Not only gets the runners over, but knocks them in. First and third with Cano up. They throw to third, and a high throw. Had it been on line, they had a great chance to get James Jones.
Ned Yost has one of the best young catchers in baseball. He'll pick off to any base. First, second, or third. If he gets that ball down around the bag, it might have been close.
Felix Hernandez helping out the umpires. Cano with a 1-0 count. Popped him up on the infield. Escobar makes the catch. No advance. 1 out. Vargas more of a fly ball pitcher than a ground ball pitcher. But he'd love to keep the ball down and get Logan Morrison, who doesn't run that well, to hit the ball on the ground to an infielder, get 2 outs on 1 pitch. You can see the wind blowing out towards left. Morrison more of a pull hitter. But at 6'3", 240, he doesn't need much help. We saw that with a smooth swing last night as he belted his 2nd home run of the year. Tried to jam him inside. They say he did not go. It's a 1-0 count.
He talked about how one swing hopefully turns his season around. When I had a chance to visit with him before the game, he says, I really need to get the confidence back. And that 1-2 run home run and that nice catch did. Saved a run and added 2 with a blast.
Down the line, foul.
You know, it's always interesting to talk to guys who are from the Kansas City area here, and just to be able to talk with them and say, hey, who was your mentor? Who helped you here when you were growing up? And he was quick to point out that Kevin Seitzer at Mack and Seitz really was a big influence for him. Jeff Foster, Jim Ferguson, a couple of coaches that spent a lot of time with him. And, you know, it's impressive that some of these coaches, they don't get paid anything, but they give their heart and soul to the kids and their children and turning them into big league ball players. Roll it up.
A 4, a 6, and a 3 double play. Nicely done. The Royals give up just the 1 run on 3 Mariner hits. And that is just what Vargas ordered. KC fan photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T.
Love the photos, fans. Keep them coming.
We come to you from Kauffman Stadium. Good crowd on hand on a warm summer afternoon at the K. Mike Moustakas will lead things off. Chris Young has gone 6 up, 6 down, 5 flyouts.
They're going to have to wait him out. Hoping it'll happen like it did last night, and Moose was one of the main contributors to that. Salvador started it. They were down 5-0. He hooked the pole down the left field line, and then Moose came up 2 batters later and hit him one himself, his 8th. And it was a beauty. And when he hit that, he knew he got it. He turned to his bench and clapped a couple of times and said, "Come on, fellas, we can come back." That crowd was electric last night.
Moose hits it on the ground to Kyle Seager, the third baseman, who had moved over to the right side of the field, as Lloyd McClendon had positioned 3 infielders in the right side, one lone man, Miller, on the left, and Moustakas grounds out 5-3, even though it was in the direction of 4-3.
Yep, something tells me that every game here on out is going to be a special game. Here at the K, we're going to be seeing a lot more crowds coming to watch a team play solid baseball.
Detroit is at Cleveland tonight. That's Justin Verlander against Trevor Bauer. Escobar debating the strike zone with Scott Barry. He didn't like that strike call. Chris Young has really heavy boring action with that good down angle at 6'10", and another foul ball struck by Escobar down in the count 0-2.
Much as he pitches up in the zone, he's got a 2-seamer too that works that little sinker down there. He's able to get Moose to roll over on it.
He was sensational against the Royals on May 10th, won 3-1. Gave up 1 run in 8 innings, no walks, 3 strikeouts.
You can't put those balls in play. Those are pitches that are up. All you can do is foul them off. They're going to have to really be disciplined if they're going to beat Chris Young and the Mariners.
Eric Hosmer was telling me before the game he's so tall it looks like the ball is coming down on you. And here's a ball struck to the right side. Romero waits for it, and there's 2 out now in the 3rd inning.
A lot of atom balls so far.
You'd love to get a guy with speed on, because Chris Young slow to the plate. The Royals have not had a base runner yet.
Lots of times you hear us talk about seeing the pitcher up in the zone. You got to be able to get a pitch you can handle and you can drive him. But in Chris Young's case, great take right there. You see that? You got to see him down. You got to wait till he can come down. That ball was just above the belt, and it was called a ball. So that tells the rest of the dugout right there, discipline. Lay off of him. He loves to utilize big ballparks. One of the reasons he's had success in Seattle. That's a big yard, even though they have moved their fences in there.
Since the Royals made Dale Swaim their hitting instructor, they're leading the American League in batting at .289, 3rd in runs scored. And Dale's philosophy is all about the head position, the eyes, the hands. But he said look for a pitch up, but it's almost a reverse philosophy. Look for a pitch down from Young, and that ball hit sharply but right at the shortstop Miller. And Chris Young is perfect through 3.
It'll happen.
Fans join us for Buck Night and Summer Fireworks this coming Friday, June 27th, when the Angels come to town. Select items are just $1 at the concession stand, so you can stock up on hot dogs, peanuts, and small Pepsi products. Then stay after the game for the fireworks show, courtesy of Hy-Vee and Pepsi. Just go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. Long homestand, 3 with Seattle, 3 with the Dodgers, 3 with the Angels. Vargas to face John Buck, Kyle Seager, and Stephen Romero. Mariners have had base runners all 3 innings. But man, Vargas was able to wiggle out of a wicked jam in the 3rd inning. Runners in the corners after giving up a run. Nobody out, but got Cano to pop up. Morrison to hit into 4-6-3. And now Buck. Escobar knocks it down. Quick toss. Got him. Excellent play.
There you go. Escobar gave him one and then took one away. He had time. Speedier runner. Might have been a little different, but he's able to keep it in front of him, throw him his knees, and keep the ball low. When you have a first baseman like Hosmer, just get rid of it and get it over there any way you can, because you know he'll dig it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That was about as worked up as Jason Vargas gets. He is so calm, cool, collected. It was great to see his dad, Joe Vargas, on the father's trip. He was a high school baseball coach at Victor Valley High School, and Jason was one of his pupils, but when his dad retired, he transferred to another school. He was really a terrific player, all-state. Started his baseball career at LSU and then transferred back, just wanted to come back to California, went to Cypress, and then Long Beach State, teammate of Jared Weaver.
He was a dirtbag.
That ball stroked well and over the head of Pedro Siriaco, a base hit for Kyle Seager. And Rex means no disrespect to the Long Beach State baseball team. That is indeed their name. The dirtbag nickname started in 1989. Everybody else's sports at Long Beach State are the 49ers, except for the baseball team.
That's a great nickname.
They wanted to let everybody know that's how they play the game. Hardball, dirtbags.
Longoria's from there.
Troy Tulowitzki. And Vargas's rotation had Weaver, Vargas, and Cesar Ramos, who is a pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays. That's a great rotation. They lost a heartbreaker in the regionals. Big swing and miss. 1-1. Romero, 25 years of age, out of Tucson, one of 2 players that the Mariners have out of Oregon State. The other is Cole Gillespie.
Last time he was up, we talked about how he reported to camp in not so good a shape. Oh, that's Montero, the next hitter. This is a different guy, similar with their builds.
Romero taken in the 12th round out of Oregon State. Career .306 hitter in the minor leagues.
Vargas has no pickoffs this year. He'd like to get one. Most base runners that steal off of him, they go on first movement. The minute he lifts up his leg, they take off. And then when he throws to first, they try to beat it to second.
He should have had a pickoff in that last start against the Tigers. Fly ball, center field. Dyson is there, and he will make the catch. You might remember Rajay Davis was at first base. Vargas picked him off, but Hosmer's throw was a little high, and the tag was not in time, and Davis given the steal. Now here comes Montero, the young man that you were talking about, Rex.
Yeah, and just, in his defense now, he realized that You know, maybe his work ethic in the offseason wasn't like it should be. So that was a wake-up call. Got sent to the minors, dropped some weight, got back in shape, and came back to camp, or came back to the team here and said, I'll do whatever I can do for the ball club.
Siriaco has to get to it quickly, and does. Nicely done as he shovels the ball to Hosmer for the final out. Ball is brought to you by Panera, coming soon to College and King in Overland Park. And by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit us at yourmidwestforddealers.com. Steve Biziak, Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery with you at Kauffman Stadium. Chris Young continues to dazzle the Royals. He's allowed them only one run this year in 11 innings. Beat them earlier this year on April 29th. On May 10th, I beg your pardon, his first major league win this year was against the Yankees on April 29th. So he will face the top of the order and Gerard Dyson, Eric Hosmer, and Billy Butler. And you can see what he has done against the opponents this year. First, second time through the order, the same. And then the adjustments made. Dyson, very good, but Seager off quickly, bare hands. That's a heck of a play by Kyle Seager.
He's really good coming in. Of course, he was already 15 feet in on the grass. So you see him creeping. He sees that bunt. He comes in. And Dyson doesn't have to be so fine with his bunt, with his speed. Put the pressure on the defender. Seager was even a little bit better. Ball hopped up to him. Nice play. Good focus. Throw off your right foot.
Now Hosmer, who lined out his first time up, takes strike one from Young.
He really barreled it too, just on the line to Jones in center.
Young has pushed aside the first 10 Royals that he's faced. Now Hosmer skies it into center field. James Jones there, and out number 2. With Billy Butler coming up, let's go to Joel.
Well, Fizz, we were telling you yesterday that Billy really starting to feel more comfortable. Says that he's not missing on pitches now that he was before, so he feels locked in. And heading into today, the numbers suggest that Billy finally has heated up, because since May 29th, he's got a .395 batting average, which is the best in the major leagues. That's heading into today. Jose Altuve second, Evan Gattis third, Jonathan Lucroy is fourth, and then it's Eric Ibar fifth. And Billy just missing another hit here. And then Alcides Escobar actually is next in line, 6th in the major since that date at 359. So they're starting to get some players together and going at the same time. The key now is in the middle of that lineup. Butler's going, Gordon's going, Perez need to get Hosmer on the right path and try to continue the hot hitting.
You got to get a hit.
Yeah, going into yesterday's game, Kansas City was limited to 3 runs the previous 2 games after scoring 22 in the previous 2 against the likes of Verlander and Scherzer. But suddenly a little quiet. That ball rolled to first base and taken care of by the first baseman Logan Morrison. Butler is out. The Royals have been no hit by Chris Young through 4. The Angels for James Shields bobblehead day. The first 10,000 fans through the gates will receive a James Shields bobblehead courtesy of Hy-Vee and Farmland. Remember, this is a Saturday day game with gates opening at 11:30 in the morning. For tickets, go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS.
I'd like to have one of those.
Absolutely. Shields, Vargas, they're known for taking their team deep into games, and the Royals, as you take a look at the Toyota League leaders, #1 in most innings thrown this year. The Mariners #2. Both teams with very strong rotations.
Yep, that's the whole idea behind Dayton Moore assembling this great pitching staff together. Want to eat up innings to save the bullpen, keep their arms fresh for the long haul.
Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Brad Miller dropped a bunt back in the 3rd inning and then came around to score the only run of the game on the base hit by Cole Gillespie. Moustakas over. Does he have room? No, just beyond his reach. Well, you talked about the Royals with a fine minor league system with a lot of starting pitchers coming up through that system. They drafted 2 pitchers in the first round this year, including Brandon Finnegan, who pitched his team TCU into the College World Series. But they also signed the top player from Europe last year, a guy by the name of Martin Gasparini, and he started his young career this past week. And he's opened really well. He's only 17 years old. We signed him at the age of 16. He's a shortstop, and Gasparini doubled twice yesterday, scored 2 runs. He is 5 for 10 through 2 games.
Great.
There's a ball struck to the right side. It will drop for a base hit.
Yep, they're going right. Everything's working for The Seattle Mariners, especially Brad Miller now, is 2 for 2.
He has 4 hits in the series, and he came into the series only batting .189. But this team had been in a funk offensively. They had averaged 3 runs per game during this, just under 3 runs per game during that 10-game stretch where they lost 7 of 10, but their starting pitching ERA was under 3, but they were getting very little offense. Now they're getting some offense. James Jones, major pain for the Royals to get out. He has been on base 5 times in the first 2 games of this series. And he set a Mariners record when he got base hits in his first 15 starts. And there's strike 1.
He's just learning how to play up here in the big leagues. He's going to be a fine player for years to come. He's hungry. He's eager to learn. As I was talking with Andy Van Slyke, his coach, he's the first base coach, but the outfield instructor. Today before the game, he said, you know, it's nice to be able to work with young athletes that come in here that have the willingness to learn. They're open. They're saying, hey, teach me, instead of with a swagger, you know, knowing it all. I'm a big leaguer. It's all about your mental attitude. Are you willing to be coached? Are you willing to learn? And when you have the athleticism that this kid has, the ceiling's the sky. This guy's got a high ceiling. He's got great speed. Cover that ground and center.
Ground ball, second base. Escobar gets it to first. They get the 2 on the speedy James Jones.
How about that? Consecutive nights they doubled him up. He hadn't grounded into a double play all year till last night. Siriaco, good underhand firm toss. That's what you want. You want a lot of air in between the delivery there so you can get rid of it quicker. Just barely got him.
Now Cole Gillespie, who got the base hit that gave Seattle the 1-0 lead. He had tried to sacrifice the runners, but both times failed with a bunt down the third base line that rolled foul, another one that popped into the right field foul territory, and the result was, with 2 strikes, lined a single to center field. In there, 1-1. The Mariners had a base runner every single inning. But Vargas very good at getting out of jams. Popped him up. Siriaco. That will do it. Vargas has allowed 1 run through 5. Royals need to step up their offense against Chris Young. Royals, and you will be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. Well, Joe Goldberg is certainly one of our candidates for production member of the month.
Well, thank you, Fizz. I appreciate that. Alex Gordon, how about him? He'll always be a candidate. Not only is he productive, Fizz, but he is a tough guy. So when we saw him scratch the other day, Thursday, last minute with those flu-like symptoms, you had to know it was pretty bad. And talking to him in the clubhouse today, he said that the flu-like symptoms part is gone, but his body is still achy. He's trying to get through this, and he's really still struggling to have much of an appetite. I said, well, how are you staying energized? How are you eating? And he said, I'm forcing myself to do it. But he went through that, slept for a good 24 hours up until Friday morning. Remember, it was a Father's Day trip, too, and his dad had the same type of symptoms. So both Gordon's, Mike and Alex, ended up getting sick. And the thing we know about Alex, he is a very routine-oriented guy. He has not worked out since Tuesday, which he said is not the biggest of deals because he doesn't work out when it's a day game because it'll wear him out too much. And so we've had a lot of day games. But right now, he said his routine is this. Just find a way to get ready for the game as he's on the mend, and that's what he's done.
Yeah, Joel, I saw him in the clubhouse, and he did not look 100%. Already sweating, trying to get over those flu-like symptoms. He has a 2-2 count. Flied out to right field, almost hit the ball out. The best struck ball we've seen by a Royal. And he drove Romero to deep right field where he had to leap up against the wall to make the catch. Young right now showing a great ability to throw the ball exactly where he wants to. At 6'10", he is so tall, so it gives you that great deception. Tough to pick up.
Talking to a few of these Royals hitters, they said it's like he's throwing the ball out of the sky. He's so tall, they can't get a good gauge on him.
Missed much of last year. Didn't pitch in the major leagues because he had surgery the previous season. And that ball is smoked deep to right field. And this game is tied at 1. He may not feel 100%, but at 90%, he's pretty good.
Home run number 9. The G train is in town. He's back. Good stroke. Three and 2. Young didn't want to walk anybody, and Gordon figured him out. Says just got to wait on him, put a good level swing, get a little back underside of that baseball, and it'll carry out of the yard.
Now Salvador Perez ropes one in the alley left center. Jones gets to it quickly, has a good throw, and Perez is out.
One hit ignites this ball club. Salvi digging for his 17th double. Thought he had a shot at it. Just came up a little shy.
And Rex, you said James Jones has a good arm, no assists this year, hasn't had too many opportunities, but what a rifle throw there.
Got to believe that. Nice footwork out there. Good spin move. He got right on top of that ball. Accuracy on the throw. He's got a tremendous throwing arm. We saw that last night when Billy Butler tagged up from second base. He almost threw him out. If he would have been accurate with the throw, Billy would have been out.
So Young perfect through 4, gives up a home run to Gordon. Now a smash by Perez, but he is thrown out. Now Justin Maxwell will step to the plate. Let's go back to that swing by Gordon.
Why not? It's smooth and it's beautiful. As the first hit broke up his perfect game. Hands go back slightly. You got to go back to go forward. Look at it. Catches it out front. Look at that nice finish. Nice and easy. It's not how hard you swing. It's how easy you swing. And these guys have got muscle memory. They got that pattern down from taking BP every day, most of their lives. When they see that pitch in that hot area, they know what to do with it.
Maxwell lays off the high stuff. Has himself a hitter's count at 2 balls and 1 strike. Justin back today, recalled from the minor leagues. If you've just joined us, Nori Aoki placed in the disabled list. That will get out of play, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Ned Yost was talking about Justin, who said he was doing great down in the minor leagues, and he said when we sent him out, he really wasn't able to get consistent at bats, and he's a player who needs to find a rhythm. Three and 2, and I told Justin, I said, you will be just another power threat in our lineup. And he said, wait a second, all I want to do is hit line drives, and the byproduct of a line drive sometimes is a long home run. Stay inside the ball.
Maxwell gets his hands and arms extended. There's not a ballpark in America that can contain him. That home run he hit last year, last home game of the season, walk-off grand slam. Oh, that was way out of here. That was a very special hit. Not just that it was a grand slam. He's done that before. But this crowd, 31,000, saying goodbye to their Royals for the last season. That was the last home game. Oh, and listen to the crowd. I'm getting goosebumps again. Oh. That was no doubter.
Off Joakim Soria on a 3-2 count.
Shocked the house.
Cracks that one sharply into left field. So Maxwell has his first hit, and the Royals have strung together 3 straight hits off Chris Young. They did the damage in the 5th inning last night with 2 home runs, one by Perez and the other by Mike Moustakas, and now Moose will come up in the 5th. Royals and Mariners tied at 1.
Okay, now Maxwell's telling himself, I got to stay on top of that high fastball. If he's just a tick underneath it, that's a homer. But he stayed on top of that ball and found a hole. Welcome back.
Moustakas grounded out to third his first time up. One ball, no strikes. Since his return from the minor leagues, batting average is over 200, but he's shown good power with 4 home runs. In there.
Moose is looking middle in and down. He likes him there. Young doing all he can to stay away from that zone. Wants Moose to shoot that ball to the opposite field, and Moose, when he waits a click, he could do that.
They give Mike a lot of room in left center.
I'm trying to stay away from him. Now with 2 strikes, they're going to pull that shift. Seager's going to move over there in that second base slot from third. See a lot of shifting nowadays. Playing the percentages, they don't always work, but sometimes it works enough to get inside the brain of the hitter.
Well, they talk about letting the ball get deep before the swing. This would make you think that way with the whole left side open. And then he pitches Mike away, a 2-2 count.
Letting the ball travel deep means let the ball get close to the catcher's glove. On contact, you take your same home run swing that you would when a ball's middle in, but you wait a click longer and you can shoot it to the opposite field. It's hard to wait. Guys want to go out and get it.
Again, he works up in that strike zone.
He's getting closer. Moose is.
Opponents have had an 89% stolen base success rate against Young in his career. He is a bit slow home. Maxwell has not gone yet. I'm wondering if they'll wait until the count goes to 3-2 to let Moose have a chance to try and swing and drive that baseball. You would think they would send Maxwell on a 3-2 count, but right now at 2-2. Who's knocking off the tough pitches. Trying to get 1-2 drive. Gordon started the inning with a home run that tied it. Perez singled, was thrown out at second, then a single by Maxwell. Justin looked like he had either bluffed a move or was going to go. And Chris Young spotted him in the corner of his eye and stepped off and threw over.
Perfect baseball weather here at the K. Summer is here. Hardly any wind blowing, which is unusual. Usually the ball's swirling around, or the wind is swirling.
Little cooler than last night, though.
You can pull homers if you're a left-handed batter or a right-handed batter, but to dead center, you're going to really have to get up underneath one. Another 3-2 count. Let's see if Ned moves Maxwell with one out.
Rusty Kuntz, the first base coach, has come over to talk with Justin at first base, and as you say, Rex, Rusty is the get-back coach.
First base coach, that's right. That's what they say most of the time. But Maxwell wants to make sure that Young goes home. Want to take off early.
Miller communicating with Young on who likely will cover for the double play, and that is Kyle Seager. Maxwell does go. The pitch is fouled back our way. Mike with a good at bat against Chris Young, driving his pitch count up to 69. He has gotten one out in this fifth inning.
Most of the time, you know, you want to get to that pin. But the way that the Mariners have been throwing the ball to that bullpen, you'll have to pick your spots. But, you know, the Royals, as hot as they are, even though they have lost the last couple of games, they're still swinging pretty good bats. They're not afraid of anyone.
Maxwell goes. The pitch is swung on, hit in the air, playable for Gillespie. 2 outs, and Justin back to first base. Let's go to our AT&T U-verse rewind. We're going to go back to May. Bases loaded for Escobar.
Yep, that's a beauty. That's tomorrow's pitcher. Young left-hander. What a beauty. First career grand slam.
And the Royals grand slam this year, as we will see Yordano Ventura throw for KC, and Elias will go for Seattle. 3.9 ERA for the rookie. He came to the Seattle Mariners from the New York Yankees, part of that Montero deal that allowed the Yankees to acquire Michael Pineda, who's still on the DL.
He's really good. He's like Danny Duffy. He's got a good left-handed fastball, mid-90s.
Escobar fly to right his first time up. Again, that off-speed curve really has fooled him. That's the second time in 2 at-bats where he's really been fooled and way out front.
Oh, 0-2 here. You still got to be looking for the fastball. You got to look for the fastball, and then when you see that big breaking ball, then you just stop your front step and then just trust your hands. Anything close.
Yeah, we've seen him choke up a little bit with 2 strikes and go to the opposite field. There's a lot of room between Cano at second base and the first baseman Morrison, who is holding Justin Maxwell right now. Escobar came in hot, hitting .358 his last 22 games. Maxwell did not go, and Escobar again late with his swing on another breaking ball.
Just trying to fight it off. Now you see how they're playing him. You could fly the Goodyear blimp through that gap right there. If he can hit that gap, oh, Be running for days.
A taxing inning for Chris Young. He's thrown a lot of pitches. Escobar pops it up.
Just can't stay off of that.
That will do it for the Royals, but they tie it on Gordon's home run. And Jason Vargas back even with the Seattle Mariners. Royals baseball is brought to you by Steel. Find a helpful servicing Steel dealer near you. Visit steeldealers.com. And by Samuel Adams for the love of beer. Welcome back to the K. Mariners and Royals tied at 1. Here's a look at our Sprint Family question of the day result. Which starting pitcher posted the lowest ERA in his first season with the Royals after signing as a free agent? David Cone in 1993 had a 3.33 ERA. 38% of you guessed correctly. You are correct.
David Cone. Had to face him in his prime when he was with the Mets. It was not fun at all.
I had a chance to watch him in high school at Rockhurst.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a football, basketball, baseball player he was.
Yeah. Trying to face him and get a hit off him is a whole different ball game, Fizz, especially when he dropped down sidearm 3/4. Ooh. He's a competitor.
Vargas to face Robinson Cano for the third time. He's gotten him twice. Once where he grounded out to second and then also popped up to short. And it was a key moment when he got him to pop up to short because there were runners on the corners. Robbie pulls one to the right side. Siriaco has it. 1 out. Here is our Academy Sports and Outdoors starters comparison. Both pitchers on their game. Chris Young had a perfect game through 4, and then Gordon took him deep. Vargas gave up his 1 run in the 3rd. I thought Jeff Montgomery in the pregame show talking with Joel Goldberg had the perfect quote about Vargas. What he liked most about him, he said, was that he really believes in himself, and he knows his game is about upsetting the hitter's timing. Changes speeds on his fastball, on his changeup, on his curveball.
Yep, I love his tempo. I like how he walks up on the grass off of the dirt and looks for the ball. He just puts his glove out there saying, give it to me again, gets back up on the slab, and here it comes.
Rex, I would imagine that has a lot to do with his great command.
Absolutely. And it also keeps that defense on their toes. There's a lot to be said for that. Nothing worse than a guy taking 30 seconds in between pitches, and you're out there in the infield baking in the sun. You're thinking, come on, throw the ball.
Hosmer will take care of Morrison, and very quickly 2 outs in the 6th. Well, Fox Sports Kansas City invites you to join current and former Royals players on the field June 26th for Diamond of Dreams. Enjoy a menu from local restaurants, live music, and fireworks show, all for charity. Buy tickets now at royals.com/Diamond of Dreams. That is Thursday at the K. Great food and entertainment, and the proceeds, of course, benefits Royals charities. There's a strike in there to John Buck, who struck out looking in the 2nd, was robbed of a hit on a great diving play by Escobar in the 4th. Vargas looking for his first 1-2-3 inning. Swung on and missed. 0-2. Buck with good power.
Talked about Vargas in being able to keep the ball in the yard. That's something that he wasn't able to do. Now his last 8 starts, he's only given up 1 home run, but before that he'd given up 7 in the 5 previous starts, and it was on that changeup, and a lot of them were right here at the K, where those hitters were looking to pull it out of the yard from the right side.
Ground ball. Backhanded by Escobar. 1-2-3 go the Mariners. Vargas very sharp. He has retired 5 straight. And we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, tied at 1. Action tonight as well, with the Tigers battling the Indians on Baseball Night in America on Fox. Then later it's the Rangers and Angels on Fox Sports 1. Tomorrow we're back on Fox Sports Kansas City with a series finale between the Royals and Mariners. Ventura against Elias tomorrow afternoon, and as you know, the 6th inning is our Sonic Slam inning, and our contestant is Michael Martin from Olathe. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Michael will win $500, but if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Michael will win $25 grand from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Well, Michael, there's a guy on the mound who gives up a lot of fly balls. Chris Young with 9 fly ball outs through 5 innings, and 1 that left the yard, Alex Gordon's, in the 5th. Pedro Siriaco will lead things off, then Dyson, then Hosmer. Foul. We're seeing him go more to his breaking ball. second time through the order.
Last batter, second time through.
Ciriaco bunts, and it will go foul.
Too bad. That was nice off the bat. Looked like it was going to stay on that grass. It had a little bit of a topspin on it. That's when the barrel gets out there just a little bit ahead. Same way as a guy pulling the ball down the line, it hooks that way if you get the top head off out there.
Boy, you'd love to get the speed guy on with speed to follow a guy like Dyson who can handle the bat and get the bunt down as well. Ciriaco, we remember when he came up with the Boston Red Sox. He was originally with Pittsburgh, then traded to Boston. 2012, when he got called up from Pawtucket, had a great beginning at .418, his first 35 major league games. Fouled that off Buck.
So now you know a breaking ball is coming. You have to be 90% sure it's coming. With 2 strikes, it's okay to give yourself up, square around a little bit, and just bunt the ball down. And this one was a breaking ball way outside. It's tougher to swing at it than it is to bunt it. And with a guy like Ciriaco can do that, we've seen Aoki do that with 2 strikes.
A bloop into shallow left field. Coming on quickly is Cole Gillespie to make the catch, and there's 1 down. That is 10 fly ball outs through 5 1/3 now.
Yep, you got good speed out there. Gillespie, he can run. And that much air underneath it, it's going to get caught. That's a cool helmet there. He's got the Space Needle in Seattle painted on the side. Nice artwork. That's John Buck.
Another flare to left field, and Gillespie will record the first 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. And that is 11 fly ball outs by Chris Young, who continues to tease the Royals up in the strike zone. Let's take a look at our AT&T fan photo of the day. It comes from Jill. Thank you very much.
Hello, Jill.
Good crowd on hand at the K on a warm summer afternoon. Eric Hosmer with a mighty rip and missed his pitch. That was there for him. He is lined out and flied out both times to center field. Again, Young teases him upstairs.
The ball comes out of the sky. Hitters say about Young, so tall.
His average fastball is 85.4 miles an hour. That's way down when you compare him to Yordano Ventura, but impeccable command up in the zone.
To give you some dugout talk, Fizz, I'll give it to you, and it's not anywhere offensive to Chris Young or not, but a guy like him, hitters call, he's got pus. He don't have anything. But you know, those are the pitchers that frustrate the hitters the most. That's why they get comments like that from him. They'll come in the dugout and go, man, he's got nothing.
He's a comfortable 0 for 4.
Exactly. In the meantime, Chris Young is saying, oh, well, call it what you want. I'm winning games, and I'm in the big leagues here making a living.
Fouled off. He was a former star at Princeton, very bright guy. Didn't make his pro debut until 2001 because he was working on his Princeton degree, and he wrote his senior thesis on Jackie Robinson's impact on racial stereotypes in the media. Really bright guy.
Oh,
Hosmer again chased up and out of the strike zone, and Young continues to confound the Royals through 6. tied it in the 5th inning. And as we take a look at our highlights, we've had a great catch. Christmas came early at the K as Rex Hudler made this catch on a foul ball. And then we were back to real action. In the 3rd inning, a base hit by Gillespie gave Seattle a 1-0 lead. In the 5th inning, it was Alex Gordon, number 9, tying the game at 1. And our game summary shows that Young, Vargas really have been excellent. Gordon with that game-tying home run that we talked about, and Vargas, with the exception of his last inning, was wiggling out of jam after jam the first 5. And he went 1-2-3 with the Mariners in the 6th. To the right side, Hosmer has it. He'll come back to the bag, and Seager is out number 1.
Folks, there's nobody is more deserving than the All-Star than Alex Gordon on this team. However, there are a couple of potential other All-Stars, Salvador Perez being one of them, Escobar at short. Vote him in. You got ballots here when you come to the K, and also online. Don't forget that online. You can punch it in as many times as they'll let you. Let's get some blue in Minnesota. Salvi just applauded that. He said, yes, I want to go again. It was a great experience for him, especially getting to catch Mariano Rivera in his last All-Star game ever.
That was such a cool moment. And Salvador Perez knew all about Rivera's history. He could tell you about it. He said that was one of his favorites to watch growing up. Stephen Romero, the batter, had that base hit in the 2nd inning and then popped up to center field in the 4th.
Yeah, you know, Salvi, he'll be telling his kids and his grandkids, and he'll be showing that clip of him walking off the field with Mariano.
Two and 1 to Romero. One more afternoon game tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Ventura against Elias. Then the Dodgers in town for 3 night games Monday through Wednesday. Romero swings and misses, and the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. Seattle so solid on the road, 21-16 away from Safeco, and 16-8 their last 24 games. This is a team that finished 25 games out of first place last year behind Oakland. Right side for Maxwell. Romero is out number 2. The Royals and Fox Sports Kansas City are offering a unique way for Royals fans across the Midwest to enjoy a game of the K with the Be Royal Fan Express. Fans in select cities will have the opportunity to win a seat on the bus, a ticket to the game, a Royals jersey, hat, and much more. The next stop for the Express is in Des Moines on June 28th as Fox Sports Kansas City, MediaCom, and KXLQ AM are bringing the best fans to the K to watch the Royals take on the Angels. Now be sure to listen to KXLQ AM for a chance to win your seat on the Be Royal Fan Express and Be Royal Des Moines.
Oh, man, they let me on that bus today, Fizz. That was beautiful. Did you see the fans raising the roof in there in that bus? They were all geeked.
Be Royal Wichita.
Yeah, it was fun. And there's many more of those. Folks, you want to make sure to get on one of them. And I'm going to tell you, I was holding court. I said, all right, folks, look. I said, how many have ever even been to the K? And I'm going to say about 25 of the 56 raised their hand. I said, welcome to one of the most beautiful ballparks you'll ever go to. Fountains, the big board. I said, keep watching that board. You never know when you're going to see yourself pop up, because you'll be able to see every little bit of it with that high definition. It's beautiful.
Montero tries to pop one into right field. He will drop one just in front of Justin Maxwell for a base hit. And now a real tough out for just about everybody in the Royals pitching staff to get out Brad Miller. He was the guy with the game-winning home run last night in the 9th inning to break the 5-5 tie. Dustin Ackley will come on to pinch run for Montero. And the batter will be Miller, who is 2 for 2. Miller now batting .350 his last couple of weeks.
There's Andy Van Slyke, first base coach. He goes back with Lloyd McClendon to the Pittsburgh Pirate days, as does third base coach Rich Donnelly. He was with Jim Leyland in Pittsburgh back in the 80s and early 90s. It's Lloyd McClendon's first year as a skipper in Seattle, and usually when you get a managerial job, there'll be one, maybe two coaches that the organization wants to keep on the staff, and then they'll allow the manager to pick his own guys. And really, you got to be your buddies, guys who have got experience in the game, and especially like Van Slyke, who's got all that great playing experience in his day. He was a tremendous center fielder.
The Royals have had some turnover in their staff, but Ned Yost really likes the coaching staff that he has right now. And there's a terrific breaking ball thrown by Jason Vargas for an 0-2 count on Miller.
Yep, Ned's got plenty of experience on his bench. Rusty Kuntz is a big leaguer. Dale Swaim, he played a lot of years. Doug Henry, Dave Island, those guys all pitched in the big leagues. It's important to have that type of experience. And Ned Yost himself, player in his day, had to back up. It wasn't an easy job for him, but he was able to be mentored by Bobby Cox, one of the greatest managers ever, going into the Hall of Fame this summer.
Moustakas has it, bobbles, gets it back, and throws out Brad Miller. Vargas, another excellent start. 1 run allowed in 7.
Kauffman Stadium, including premium seats. Do you have a corporate outing coming up or clients coming into town? Ticketsforless.com can get your group within the first 10 rows behind the dugout, or even all together in the front row of the crown seats. Check out Ticketsforless.com for all your Royals tickets. Nice crowd here today on Wichita State Day, so a lot of shockers in the house, and it was a fun time last night for today's home plate umpire, Scott Barry. Went in and visited with him today, and he said he enjoyed the attention, had a good time laughing out there with those comedians who suddenly knew his name. He said Eric Stonestreet from Modern Family was the one giving him most of the business. Guys?
Thank you very much, Joel. We'd love to see Billy Butler shocker the house here. He is 0 for 2 with a 10-game hit streak on the line. He's flied out to center and grounded out to first. And now fouls the ball off, strike 2. Young right now at 88 pitches on a warm afternoon. But after a rough 5th inning, he gave up all 3 of his hits today in the 5th inning, including a home run by Gordon. Came right back with a 1-2-3 6th. Billy pops it up right side, foul territory. Morrison, 1 out. Danny Farquhar beginning to warm in the Seattle bullpen.
Alex Gordon's our Dodge drive of the game with this drive. Most left-handers, they've got a little pop, I'll tell you. That's the nitro zone, down and in. You recognize that pitch, you put an easy swing on it with a little backspin, you hit yourself a big league homer.
So Young starts him out with a breaking ball for strike 1.
Young, you mentioned how he went to Princeton. He was coached by Scott Bradley, a former teammate of mine with the Yankees, and then Scotty went on and played for the Mariners. And Scotty Bradley was a catcher, and he bragged on Chris Young when he got to the big league several years ago, and he called me up and he said, man, wait till you see this guy. He's 6'10". He's really got a chance to have a nice career. He's smarter than most baseball players, but he can pitch. And he had that elbow problem. He had some problems with his arm. Kind of shut him down a little bit. Was it shoulder or was it elbow?
He had that thoracic outlet syndrome that ended his year last year or 2 years ago, and only pitched in 9 games for the Nationals minor league system.
What's thoracic syndrome?
I believe it's that little joint near your rotator cuff.
Okay. Thought it was some shoulder or elbow issues.
But you're right, he was 9-1 with a 1.64 ERA in 2 years for Bradley at Princeton. But he also was a basketball player, all Ivy League in basketball, and a lot of local fans remember when he scored 20 points against KU in the NCAA tournament. Sacramento wanted him on their NBA team. Said he signed with the Texas Rangers. Gordon again fouls one off. First Princeton product to start a major league game since Dave Sisler for the Senators. Well, it was back in 1961. So that'd be over 50 years ago. And a 3-2 pitch to Alex is again lifted foul.
Wear him down. And that pitcher that tall, boy, that's a tremendous height to get some leverage downhill. And you're releasing it. Ooh.
Wow, that barely missed, but that's the first walk of the afternoon, and it is Alex Gordon's 31st walk this year.
When Young lets go of that ball, he's a foot to 2 feet closer to home plate when he lets it go, and sometimes that can present a problem for a hitter who's not used to seeing a guy that tall.
Yeah, he and Randy Johnson are the tallest pitchers in Mariners history, and you had a chance to face Randy. What was that like?
Frightening for some guys. I wasn't scared of him, but frightening because he let that ball go way out. I mean, right at the cut of the grass, and he threw 100. So you barely saw it. It was amazing to see that. And then when he threw that slider, he had 2 kind of sliders. He had one that hung up in the air, and then he had another one that was a tight strikeout slider. But see where he is? Look at how long that stride is. And by the time he lets go of the ball, freeze it right here. Look at that. He's on the cut of the grass. That's not fair.
Gordon barely gets back in time as Morrison slapped that tag down. Alex with 4 steals this year. He's been caught twice.
But I remember in the Angel days when Randy Johnson was in his prime and they beat us in a 1-game playoff in 1995. Season was over. We were both tied and he was facing him, and he had struck out Salmon every time up. Not just in that game, but every time he faced him, and Salmon would come back to the dugout saying, I don't like this guy. No one did. Randy Johnson threw nitro.
Salvi with a ground ball to short. This could be 2-1 and done.
Not bad for a pusser.
For the Mariners, as Panera takes us around the league, a lot of action tonight, but as far as today goes, Joe Mauer providing the offense, and Andre Rienzo has given up 4 runs. Detroit and Cleveland tonight. Verlander, a 9.16 ERA in the month of June. Baltimore, 4 home runs, including Nelson Cruz's 23rd on the year, and our Mazda Game Break takes us there. Not for Cruz's, but for J.J. Hardy's. He has averaged 25 homers a season over the last 3 years, even had a 30 home run game. And this was his first home run of the season, coming on June 21st. And you know exactly what they are going to do to him when he gets to the dugout, because a guy that can hit some homers, that had to wait this long, oh, he is going to get the silent treatment. Billy Butler got it recently on his 2nd home run, and look at the bench there, look at the dugout. Adam Jones, man, maybe I'll give you a little something. Hey, high five myself, enjoy some seeds. Yep, there you go, guys. Enjoy that. He is off the schneid with his first home run of the season. Jason Vargas is back on the hill. Fizz?
Thank you, Joel.
That's the greatest. That is an inside joke inside the club, or inside that dugout there, that's really popular.
And JJ knew exactly what he was in for.
You see him, he grabbed a bag of seeds right away.
Just tossed him in the air.
Yeah, he knew he was getting silenced.
Royals were finally able to erase Jones last time up. He hit into a 4-6-3 double play, and he takes strike 1 from Jason. Vargas beginning his 8th inning of work. His pitch efficiency has been outstanding, even though the Mariners have had base runners every inning except the 6th. 2 double plays helped him. And right now his pitch total at 87. 65 have been in that zone. Only 22 have missed. Not one Mariner has walked. Hosmer right there, easy play, 1 down.
Vargas doing his thing. We've seen a lot of left-handed hitters top that ball to Hosmer, and a lot of right-handed hitters popping it up. There's a nice consistent outing for the veteran Vargas. Look at that pitch count. That's beautiful. Moving
Not
right along.
one inning more than 15.
Resting that bullpen. All he needs, couple runs. 1 really, but another one would be nice.
Here is Cole Gillespie, who singled in the only Mariners run back in the 3rd inning after Miller had reached on a bunt base hit. Jones singled him to 3rd, and then Gillespie lined a single to center field to make it 1-0. But Seattle had an opportunity for a big inning in that third. Runners in the corners, a run home, nobody out. But Vargas got Cano to pop up to short and Morrison to hit into a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. "15 groundouts. He's usually a fly ball pitcher, but he's gotten the groundouts when he's needed him, Hud, because 2 double plays.
He continues to keep the ball down.
Herrera warming in the Royals pen. Maxwell right up against the wall. Nice play, and there's 2 out. The Royals have lost 2 in a row after winning 10 straight, and they outscored the opposition 69-30, averaging almost 7 runs per game. But they've been held down by Sanchez. The final game in Detroit, Iwakuma shut them down for 4 innings until the Royals erupted in the middle innings, scoring 5 times in the 5th and 6th, and only 1 this afternoon against Young. Cano to left field. Gordon chasing, and he'll get there.
Vargas might get to come out again after that nice short inning. You can't hit that ball to left field and think you're going to get a hit with Gordon. You are out.
Royals baseball is brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Steve Biziak, Rex Hudler, Joe Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery with you at the K. Our great production crew led by Joe Lavero and Steve Kurtenbach.
They deserve an all-star vote, those guys out there in the truck.
We will see a new pitcher. It will be Yoervis Medina pitching in his 30th game this year. As you were talking about, Rex, just about everybody they bring out of that bullpen has terrific numbers.
And they got good arms. Another 90 to 95 fastball, slider. 6'3", 245. Another low ERA. See if they can crack him. They're going to have to tune their bats up a little bit faster because he's going to bring it.
He has had 10 straight scoreless games, covering 9 1/3 innings, has only allowed 3 hits during that time with 11 strikeouts.
Yeah, great job again by Chris Young. He was outstanding. And you know, I was just teaching the folks a little bit about the baseball lingo, and you know, nothing offense. I hope he's not offended at all by calling him a quote-unquote pusser. So Chris, if you're in that dugout or you're in that clubhouse in there and you're listening, Dude, no offense, man. I would have hate to face you. You'd have strapped an 0 for 4 on me in a heartbeat. But I'd have been angry, like most of those hitters are.
It is Justin Maxwell to lead things off against Medina. Strike one. Medina, good size, 6'3", 245, just 25 years of age, out of Venezuela. I remember one pitch he made in a bad location earlier this year was absolutely crushed. It was a walk-off grand slam that he gave up to Giancarlo Stanton of the Marlins. That was back on April 18th. It went about 450 feet. Maxwell down in the count 0-2. Check swing, he did not go, and a 1-2 count. What is this adjustment like, going from Young to a guy like Medina?
This is more like it. You know, baseball here in America, it's a hard game. It's about the fastball. Most pitchers all nowadays throw 95 miles an hour, especially that come out of that bullpen. Rarely do you see a guy under 90 or at 90. So they're used to this. Getting a chance to talk with Iwakuma today was a special treat. He talked to me about the differences in Japan, what he saw between the Japanese hitter. And I told him that he had over a 3 ERA in Japan. He said the Japanese hitters are more patient. They see more pitches. They're more selective. They wait it out. He said over here, the American hitters, they have more speed. They're more aggressive. They're more powerful. They have quicker bats. And they're looking early in the count to swing. That's why he's had so much success over here. He said he praised that Royals offense too. He said, you know, it wasn't the weather that got me down. Of course, through an interpreter, he's telling me it wasn't the weather that taxed me. I was more taxed mentally, knowing that they were bringing guys up there that were hot. I had to hit my spots. So that's a nice thing coming from an opposing pitcher, that the hitters are in those pitchers' minds. And that's a beautiful thing. First 2 months they weren't. They wanted to pitch to him.
In there, strike three called.
There's that slider.
Boy, that looked like it was going to stay inside and then almost like backed up and caught the inside corner. Now Mike Moustakas to face the right-hander. He's grounded out and popped up. And right after him with the heat at 95 miles an hour, strike one. A ball, a strike to Mike Moustakas. The Royals started the day a half game back as you see Holland throwing down in the Kansas City pen. He took the loss last night in the 7-5 Seattle victory. Detroit at Cleveland later this evening.
Just waiting for that offense to get him a run. And one swing of the bat, precisely. That's where home runs really come into play. Gordon got one earlier today. He hit his 9th in the 5th inning, leading off.
If the game is still tied, I can see Jason Vargas coming back out for that 9th inning. I think if the Royals take the lead, they'll go to Greg Holland, because Jason has only thrown 93 pitches through 8 innings. Hits it to the left side, but right at the shortstop Miller. He'll throw out Moustakas, and there's 2 down now in the 8th inning. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-the-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit Royals.com for details. Escobar 0 for 2. Flied out to right, popped up to short. Young went 7. Medina now trying for a shutout 8th. Middle of the order will be up for Seattle in the top of the 9th. And Esky pops it up. That should get back, and it will get out of play. They've really been testing Escobar up in the zone, Medina here, and Young earlier.
That's exactly what they want to do. Guy with speed, get all those infield hits. Those scouting reports, heck, they don't lie. You want to keep that ball up so you can get him to fly up. He has occasional power, we know that, but he's going to have more success on balls to the knees, right down low. So they try to throw hard, high fastballs to get him to do that. Same way with Dyson. Anybody with speed, they want you to pop it up.
Wind blowing out to left, about 10 miles an hour. There's that breaking ball that barely misses away. Escobar with 23 extra base hits this year. He only had 28 all last year. He's had a solid first 3 months.
That 5th inning, the Royals offense, they fed off of the leadoff home run by Gordon. Then Salvi hit a single, got thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. Maxwell singled. So they really have done well feeding off each other with frenzy style hitting.
Medina strikes out Escobar, and the Royals are done in the 8th inning. earlier, it's Miller time. Jason Vargas with 8 outstanding innings of work, and Rexy has bewitched, bothered, and bewildered these Mariners hitters all afternoon long.
He's saying, where's the love? Where's the run support that James Shields gets? But he doesn't need it right there. Keeping that ball down, using that defense. That's what Vargas is special for. Look at that. That's rare that he's really given that credit. He shook that finger at Escobar and said, thank you again for your defensive skills. Saving my pitch count. That's why he's in the game. This late.
His line through 8. 7 hits, 1 run, no walks, only 1 strikeout. He has gotten the side in order only 2 times, in the 6th and in the 8th. Power at the plate in Morrison. Foul. Vargas says, give me a new baseball. I got him down 0-2.
Yeah, Morrison's grandma's here, aunt and uncle, lives in Overland Park. He's got a big pass list.
He went to Maple Woods Community College, same school that Albert Pujols went to.
And then his dad, Tom Morrison, unfortunately passed in 2010. He said he made sure he got all the coaching he needed while growing up here. His dad played football at KU. 75, 76.
I remember watching Tom play. Breaker misses away, and it is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Morrison.
He was a defensive end, his dad was. And his dad swayed him away from football. He told him,
Smart.
Look, yeah, you stay in baseball.
He got him to chase. Salve tried to tag him. Now he'll lob to first base, and there's 1 big out in the 9th inning. It was tied at 5, excuse me, in the 9th inning last night when Brad Miller led off with a home run off Greg Holland. They would score 1 more. The Royals still have not had a walk-off this year. Why not now?
Have to wait 2 more outs.
I'm saying today.
I know what you were saying.
So that's 2 strikeouts.
They are due.
John Buck takes a rip and misses. Strike 1. They'll have Siriaco, Dyson, and Hosmer coming up in the bottom of this inning. Buck is 0 for 3. Robbed of a hit we told you about by Escobar in the 4th, who dove, knocked it down, skipped it over to Hosmer for the out. That's when Vargas pointed out to him, said thank you very much.
Reinforcements are on the way. They're getting ready. Holland standing by.
1-2.
You know, we had that Sprint family question, which has really been wonderful this season. Thank you, Sprint. And they talked about who was the pitcher that was the most surprising. And the fans voted Vargas.
Buck to center field. Dyson there, and he pulls it down for the 2nd out. And I think it's because a lot of people didn't know a lot about Jason Vargas. He wasn't necessarily a strikeout pitcher, but he was a pitcher, and he was the first guy that Dayton Moore identified in the offseason that he wanted to get him as soon as the availability was there to make the moves after the World Series ended.
That's right.
Signed him to a 4-year deal.
And the Angels, they left empty-handed. They wanted him.
Well, they had spent so much money in offensive players, they may have not have had any left for pitching.
Oh, come on. That's a major market out there. Nice to see the Royals land a free agent away from a major market. It's beautiful.
In the gap, right center field. Seager will have at least 2. And now he puts the brakes on with a 2-out double.
See if Ned Yost is going to leave him in, or is he going to bring in Herrera? Yep, looks like he's got Herrera in mind. Tremendous afternoon by Vargas.
I was hoping he'd be able to stay in to try and get that final out and still be eligible for the victory should the Royals win it in the bottom half of this inning.
Fans are going to give him. He wants to stay in.
All right,
Ned's
look at that.
Leave him
Love
in.
it.
Yeah, I like that. Vargas and the fans at the K giving it up for Ned. There you go, Ned. Good decision. You let a veteran pitcher tell you, sir, if it's okay with you, I would like to stay in. We're good. We're good. I'm good. Please, please don't yank me.
And look at the Royals. They were also applauding there, saying,
gotta love that.
He is a competitor. Stephan Romero takes strike one.
Now the fans are getting in. They appreciate a performer like this guy, Vargas.
That was one of his best velocity fastballs at 89 miles an hour, and he jammed Romero inside.
Believe me, the crowd is helping him finish.
1 ball, 1 strike. Romero 1 for 3, a single his first time up. Again, he tries to come inside but misses. 2-1. A left-handed batter, Ackley, will be next. He came on to pinch run for Montero earlier in this game. Back even is Vargas. Crowd at the K picks up, many on their feet. Jason 8 2/3 innings of sterling baseball. The 2-2 pitch. Siriaco, bad hop, picks it up, throws, safe. A base hit.
Tough chance is that ball, whenever it hits you or the ball lands 4 or 5 feet in front of you, it's basically a place your glove and hope it lands in it. Just keep it in front of you. That's all he wanted to do. Keep it in front, and he couldn't quite get it in the glove, and by the time he got it over there, it wasn't in time. It's a good thing that he didn't throw that away either. Fans on their edge of their seats here.
Now Ackley, the left-hander, batting for the first time. Strike one. Great block by Salvador.
Even though that was a tough chance at second base, this crowd into it, your guy out there giving it up, you got to make that play. It was not easy.
Two and one. Ackley pulls it down the line, foul. A 2-2 count. Hosmer gave it a dive just in case it was closer to the bag. He had to hold the run, and you can see Eric laying out.
Vargas has thrown as many as 117 pitches. That was 3 starts ago against the Cardinals.
Again, he peppers that first base line. Pitch number 115 on the way. And now a base hit to right field. Wow. A run scores. Seattle takes a 2-1 lead.
Ackley with a great at-bat. You could tell he was trying to pull it. He pulled several foul, and he just got up underneath one. Tremendous effort. Had no run support.
He tipped his cap to the home plate umpire, Scott Barry, who called a good game, but the Royals must come back again. Scored runs in the ninth inning in each of the first two games of this series. They beat the Royals last night 7-1 as Brad Miller hit a home run and Logan Morrison's RBI stunned Greg Holland. On this day, it is Dustin Ackley.
He kept staying in on Ackley, and Ackley knew it. He kept pulling that ball. Foul. 3 swings went foul right by that first base bag, and they stayed in on him. He was looking in there. Now the offense is going to have to come back. And all of a sudden, the ball is not bouncing the Royals' way.
The batter will be Brad Miller, who is 2 for 3. He will face Kelvin Herrera. 2.32 ERA this year. 7 of the 19 inherited runners have scored. Ball 1.
Hard fastball. Slider and a really good changeup at about 88 to 90. He'll throw it.
He's missed in the first 2. There's a strike, and it's a 2-1 count. Herrera has walked 13 in 31 innings this year. Royals a half game back of Detroit. Tigers will play later tonight against Cleveland. Verlander against Bauer. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Royals' scheduled hitters in the bottom of the 9th inning will be Siriaco, Dyson, and Hosmer. They do have men available on the bench in Hayes, Infante, and Kane. Fernando Rodney warming in the Seattle pen. Runner goes, pitch is taken, and they've got the man off third base. Moustakas will run him down. Herrera now back to third. And Escobar finally tags him out for the final out. Two to 1 Seattle. Fernando Rodney on for the M's. Our post-game show with Joe Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery. Royals hoping they will rally in the bottom of the 9th inning. We told you they have not had a walk-off this year, but it was a 1-1 game going to the 9th, and a single by Ackley gave the Mariners a 2-1 edge. Now Rodney comes out. He is second in the American League in saves with 19, a 2.22 ERA. The Royals had him on the ropes last night with 2 on and 1 out, but Aoki grounded out and Gordon struck out. Game over. M's won 7-5.
7 walk-offs last year the Royals had. Be nice to see them get some magic back at home. Infante's going to get an opportunity for a pinch hit appearance. He hasn't had one yet this season. They all know what they're getting from Rodney. Hard fastball, mid to upper 90s. He's got a little slider, but his best pitch is his changeup. That's his pitch that he'll keep him off balance with. He's got tremendous stuff. You saw it last night. But he has blown 2 saves. And the Royals got to get a guy on, make it exciting here. Get a big hit.
Infante's number is just 246, 12 RBIs, career pinch hitting, 3 triples. Would take that.
That's really good. If you're a pinch hitter and you hit 250, as hard as that job is, especially to come in against a closer,
Andy Chavez, Rex, is the new right fielder for the M's.
Going with that defense out there. He's checking the sun. He's making sure that he knows exactly where it's placed. Does not want to lose one up there.
Ball one. One ball and one strike. Rodney has been around, was with the Tigers from 1998 through the 2009 season and became their closer in 2009 with 37 saves, then signed with the Angels. But he really found his best success the last 2 years with Tampa Bay. 48 saves 2 years ago and a microscopic 0.6 ERA.
Yeah, but he's got tremendous command with that changeup. He can throw that any pitch.
Last year, 37 saves, Hud. And a 3.3 earned run average.
Got to look for the fastball.
Fastball caught the corner.
It's important as a pinch hitter to swing early as you can to get in the game. Gauge your swing against his pitch. Now with 2 strikes, he's got 1 swing left.
He went.
Now, that's what I mean. It's a very difficult job. But the sooner in the at bat you swing, the more chances you have to gauge it.
Dyson came up in that 9th inning yesterday, hit one to Logan Morrison, but late covering was Rodney, and Dyson was able to beat it to first base and get on. 1 out later, Hosmer singled him to second base. The next 2 Royals made out.
It's amazing how this game can be. San Francisco Giants, one of the best pitching staffs in baseball, have lost 6 straight and won 1 game out of their last 10. It happens.
Dodgers, who will come in on Monday, now within 4 of first place in that National League West. A 2-0 count to Dyson. Royals would love to get speed on. Dyson has popped up, tried to bunt his way on, thrown out on a beautiful bare hand play by Kyle Seager, the third baseman, and also flied out to left. 2-1. Way inside now, a 3-1 count. Now, if you're Girard, are you saying, I'm going to look for a certain pitch in a certain spot, anything that's out of that spot,
yeah,
or you take it?
I'm taking all the way.
Okay.
If I'm Dyson, I'm going to make him throw it again. 2 strikes. But, you know, he might be zoning him. Trying to be quick with his hands, stay on top of the ball. Yeah, there you go.
He walks.
Gotta need a base runner with that kind of speed. He's a game changer. Hosmer might let him have a few pitches here, so continue to take and let him get into scoring position.
Or does Hosmer expect fastball and say, you know, with Dyson on, I might get a cookie and be able to drive it?
Yep, you know what? You got to take your chances sometimes. But with that type of speed, you can score him a lot easier from second base than you can from first. So you might let him take a pitch or 2 and see if he can rip off a bag.
The good luck has arrived. Ground ball second. They've got one. They've got two. Game over. And Seattle has taken the first 2 games of this series.
Well, he was sitting on a fastball and broke his bat. So they're going to have to regroup. They know their hands are full here with the Mariners. They got a great road record.
Seattle Mariners now 22-16 away from Safeco and 17-8 over their last 25 road games. They certainly are road warriors, and they've shown that at the K.